Welcome to my build review of the REVELL A-18C Hornet in the scale 1 to 72. After I had finished the Eurofighter Typhoon, I wanted to improve my skills and experiment a bit by building an easier model before moving on to more complex models. For that purpose I got myself this Hornet. Like the Eurofighter, it's in the scale 1 to 72, which is the perfect size, not too small but also not too enormous. My major problem with the Eurofighter was the paint job. When I was done, you could clearly see that I used brushes to paint my models. Furthermore, a silvering effect appeared on the decals, which makes them look unrealistic. So to avoid the silvering and improve my paint jobs, I got myself some microsol, Tamiya masking tape and the Hornet to test those products. And I'm happy to say that this is gonna be a rather short video because I had nearly no problems while building the Hornet. It's a difficulty 3 out of 5 model with 88 parts, while the Eurofighter was a difficulty 4 aircraft with 135 parts. While assembling the cockpit, I could already try out the microsol on the instruments, and I have to say that I love using it. In comparison to only using water, all the decals apply to the surfaces much better with microsol. For all steps I tried to be patient and let the glue, paint and decals dry, and the effort paid off. I also used my fine brush again, for example on the wheel wells and the landing gear. Furthermore, I got myself some pigment liners. They are fairly cheap and you can write or paint very fine lines with them, so they are ideal to add details and panel lines. The problem with the FA-18 was that it has raised panel lines, so I couldn't do that, but I'll come back to that in a second. Here you can see the usage of the masking tape, which is also a very cost-efficient measure to improve your work and prevent the paint from getting onto surfaces it doesn't belong to. Unfortunately, I still had some issues when it came to the paint job. The manual suggests mixing grey with 20% white for the top and light grey with 10% white for the bottom of the Hornet. The only problem with that is that those two mixtures look very similar. As you can see here, I experimented with different mixtures of paint, but I wasn't really satisfied with any of those. And as you can see, I used the fuel tanks, which I didn't add to the model. There are also some AGM-88 harms and I think some sparrows in the package, but I only used the sidewinders to get this slick look that the FA-18 has. So nonetheless, I continued with masking and painting the model. The cockpit turned out very well and I used a lot of masking tape. After my grey mixture was dry, I applied a layer of clear coat, which is also useful to prevent silvering. Another issue appeared when I mounted the landing gear. One of the axes broke, so I had to improvise a bit here, but it wasn't a huge problem. So I let everything dry and applied the decals, which was quite easy with the microsol. It's just a pity that you can barely see most of the decals because they are also grey. However, I really dig the look of this version of the Hornet with the black and orange vertical stabilizers. So when everything was done, I applied some matte clear paint, and yeah, here you can see the final outcome. Due to the fact that I wasn't completely satisfied with my paint job, I tried to add some weathering, which turned out quite well. I used the rusty metal part of a brush and some brown enamel paint to recreate those rusty effect on some parts. Of course, there are tons of pictures on the internet, but if you really want to recreate the real thing, I suggest getting the game DCS World. The basic version with 2 flyable planes is free, and you can take a close look on many Western and Russian jets. I took many screenshots of every angle of the FA-18 and tried to add as many details as possible. Since most of the panel lines disappeared under the paint, I used the pigment liners and just painted hundreds of small dots to hint rivets and panels on the surface. It looks better than expected. So all in all, I'm very pleased with the outcome and I recommend the REVELL FA-18C Hornet to every beginner but also to professionals. I already begun my next project, which is the Dassault REVELL, so stay tuned and subscribe to see the outcome of that project. And leave me some feedback if you got any tips or suggestions. Thanks for watching and bye.